morning students and welcome back to my class. Today we will start a new chapter, Heat. Heat is a form of energy which makes a substance hotter. For example, light on the gas stove, place one utensil filled with water. Now heat this water. After some time you will see that the water has started boiling and has become hot. Now place the same utensil in the refrigerator. What will happen? The utensil or the water will lose all its heat and become cold. Now the question comes, how can we judge whether an object is hot or cold, too hot or too cold, or extremely hot or extremely cold? A reliable measure of the hotness or coldness of an object is its temperature. Now what is temperature? The temperature of an object is the degree of hotness or coldness. It can be measured by using a special device called thermometer. कोई भी चीज कितनी गर्म है या कितनी ठंडी है हम कैसे मेजर कर सकते हैं? By measuring its temperature. और टेम्परेचर मेजर करने के लिए क्या होता है? एक स्पेशल डिवाइस होता है जिसे हम कहते हैं थर्मामीटर. There are different kinds of thermometer like clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer, digital thermometer, gun thermometer, and there is one special kind of thermometer called maximum and minimum thermometer. Children, the temperature is expressed in the unit of degree Celsius. In short form, it is written as this. Small circle on the top denotes degree, whereas Celsius is denoted by capital C. Now let us study about the laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer is used in labs to measure the temperature of chemical substances. Laboratory thermometer is made up of glass and has a glass bulb which contains mercury. It has a thin column also known as mercury column or mercury thread, in which the mercury raises to record the temperature of the substance. The range of the laboratory thermometer is generally from -10 degrees Celsius to maximum 110 degrees Celsius. Now let us see some precaution in using a laboratory thermometer. First, it is made up of glass, so whenever you are using a laboratory thermometer, handle it carefully. Second, it contains mercury. It is highly poisonous metal, so you should take care that the thermometer should not hit any hard object. Otherwise, the glass thermometer will break and mercury will spill out from the thermometer. And it is very difficult to dispose mercury as it is very highly poisonous. Third precaution. The laboratory thermometer should be held vertical or upright straight. That means सीधा पकड़ना है बेटा से, okay? Upright, straight or vertical. And should not be tilted. Fourth precaution, the thermometer bulb should be surrounded by the substance of which the temperature is to be noted, and generally the temperature is noted while the bulb is in contact with the substance. Because if you remove the thermometer from the chemical substance, the mercury in the mercury column will fall and will fail to record the temperature of the substance, or you will get the false reading. अगर आपको किसी भी chemical substance का temperature note करना है तो कब करना है बेटा? जब ये लैबोरेटरी थर्मोमीटर उस सब्सटेंस के कांटेक्ट में होगा तभी आप नोट कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज आपने जैसे ही ये थर्मोमीटर रिमूव किया सब्सटेंस से, what will happen? The mercury which has rays in the mercury column will fall and you will get the false reading. और आपको सही रीडिंग नहीं मिलेगी क्योंकि जो मर्क्यूरी कॉलम में राइज होके टेम्परेचर रिकॉर्ड करती है वो जैसे ही सब्सटेंस से अलग होती है क्या होती है बेटा, वो जल्दी से नीचे कहाँ आना शुरू कर देती है, ग्लास बल्ब में, और टेम्परेचर जो रिकॉर्ड होना था वो नहीं हो पाता है और फॉल्स रिकॉर्डिंग आती है. This is the reason why one should record the temperature of the substance when the bulb or the thermometer is in the chemical substance of which the temperature is to be recorded. So these were the general precautions that one should keep in mind while using a laboratory thermometer. The second type of thermometer is clinical thermometer. It is used by the doctors in clinic to check the temperature of the patient body. Clinical thermometer is also made up of glass and has a glass bulb which contains mercury. A clinical thermometer has a very short range of temperature, generally from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Why, children? Because it is believed that the human body temperature cannot go below 35 degrees Celsius or cannot be above 42 degrees Celsius. This is the reason why clinical thermometer has a very short range of temperature. The normal human body temperature in degrees Celsius is 37 degrees Celsius. Clinical thermometer also has a thin glass column called mercury thread or mercury column. Unlike laboratory thermometer, clinical thermometer has a constriction called kink. Now, what is the advantage of kink in clinical thermometer? It prevents the backflow of mercury in the clinical thermometer. It was absent in laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer do not have kink, whereas clinical thermometer has kink. Now, what is the advantage? Let me tell you. The advantage of kink in clinical thermometer is that when the thermometer bulb is removed out from the mouth of the patient, the mercury thread keep on standing in the mercury column at its maximum temperature and gives the true reading of the patient's temperature even after removing out from the mouth of the patient. बेटा किंक का एडवांटेज ये होता है कि अगर हम थर्मोमीटर के बल्ब को पेशेंट के माउथ से रिमूव भी कर देते हैं तो मर्क्यूरी वापस नीचे की तरफ फॉल नहीं करता है और जो मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर रिकॉर्डेड था वो वहीं पे रहता है ना. तो इससे क्या होता है, इट हेल्प्स द डॉक्टर टू रिकॉर्ड द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द पेशेंट बॉडी. Unlike laboratory thermometer, what happens? It do not have a kink. So as soon the bulb of the thermometer is removed from the chemical substance, the mercury falls down and it becomes very difficult to record the temperature of the chemical substance or it gives the false reading. So this was the advantage of having kink in clinical thermometer. Nowadays, digital thermometer is used to record the temperature of the human body. What is the advantage of using digital thermometer, children? First advantage, digital thermometer do not use liquid metal called mercury, which is highly poisonous, as most of the glass thermometer uses mercury. So, over here, in digital thermometer, there is no use of mercury. Second advantage of digital thermometer is that it is more durable. Why, children? Because the earlier thermometer or the glass thermometer needs to be handled with care because they are made up of glass. Whereas digital thermometer is not made up of glass, which makes it more durable. Nowadays, you must have seen during this pandemic time, malls and different grocery shops uses a special thermometer called gun thermometer to check the temperature of the people. Now, how does a gun thermometer works? It records the heat radiation coming from the body. And the last type of thermometer, which is a very special thermometer called maximum minimum thermometer. It automatically records the maximum temperature and minimum temperature of the day and is used in weather report column, whether it is in newspaper or in TV news. The temperature of the day, the maximum and the minimum temperature of the day is recorded by using maximum and minimum thermometer. Children, our next topic is transfer of heat. Heat generally can flow from an hot object to a cold object. In other words, we can say that heat flows from an object at higher temperature to an object at lower temperature. Heat can be transferred from hot object to a cold object in 3 different ways. These are conduction, convection, and radiation. We will be studying about these different methods one by one in detail. Let us start with conduction. In conduction, the transfer of heat takes place from the hotter part of an object to its colder part. Take an example over here. If you place a cold metal spoon above the flame, what will happen, children? This part of the spoon will get heated up and will become hot. Now what will happen after some time? The heat from this hot end will start flowing towards the colder end of the spoon. And this transfer of heat from hotter part of the spoon to the colder part of the spoon is called conduction, or is by the method of conduction. The process of transferring the heat from an hotter part to a colder part of an object by conduction takes place only in solids. Children, there are some materials which conduct heat very easily and are known as good conductor of heat. They are also called conductors only. In other words, we can say that good conductors are those materials which allow the flow of heat very easily. Whereas there are some other materials also which do not allow the flow of heat easily. These materials are called poor conductor of heat or insulators. Metal and metal alloys are good conductor of heat. For example, silver, copper, aluminium, mercury, etc. Some examples of poor conductor of heat are plastic, paper, wood, thermocol, rubber, etc. In general, liquids are poor conductor of heat, whereas gases are very poor conductor of heat. Let us study some uses of good conductors and bad conductors of heat. Utensils are generally made up of metal. Why? Because metals are good conductor of heat, which quickly transfer the heat from the gas stove to the food placed inside the utensil, which helps in cooking of the food. Whereas the handle of the utensils are made up of plastic. Why, children? Because plastic is a poor conductor of heat. And it helps to hold the hot utensil without the risk of burning your hands. Some stainless steel pans are provided with copper base or with the copper bottom. Why? Because copper are much better conductor of heat as compared to stainless steel. So, The copper bottom helps the heat to transfer quickly to the food placed inside the utensil. For fast cooking, liquid metal mercury is used in making thermometer because it is a good conductor of heat. Few more uses of poor conductor of heat are plastic handle. Just now we have studied how the plastic handles in utensils helps to hold the hot utensil. Second, the handles of iron is also made up of plastic. It helps us to handle the hot iron while ironing the clothes. Most of the table mats are made up of plastic. As plastic is a poor conductor of heat, it protects the table from the heat of the food or from hot dishes kept on the table. Children, we wear woolen clothes in winter season to keep ourselves warm. Do you know that woolen clothes are poor conductor of heat? The woolen fibers of the woolen clothes traps the body heat and do not allow the flow of heat from our body into the cold surrounding. And this is how the woolen clothes keeps us warm during winter season. In winter season, people prefer to have too thin woolen blanket as compared to wearing thick woolen sweaters. Why, children? Because the air gets trapped between these two woolen blankets and it provides extra insulation. That means it will keep your body warm. The air trapped between these two woolen blankets is a poor conductor of heat. And woolen blanket itself is a poor conductor of heat. So, these two together will not allow your body heat to flow from your body into the cold surrounding and hence will keep you warm during the winter season. So always prefer to have too thin woolen blanket as compared to wearing heavy woolen sweaters. Similarly, the feathers of the birds also trap the air and keeps the bird body warm. One point to remember, children, there will be no flow of heat between an object having the same temperature. In other words, we can say that there will be no transferring of heat between the objects, those who are having the same temperature. So this was all about conduction. In our next class, we will study about convection and radiation. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. See you in my next class.